Welcome to NETRUSH Report, where we break down the biggest, boldest, and most controversial moments shaking up tennis around the world. Let's dive into the chaos that Andy Roddick says could rewrite how professional tennis works, starting in Saudi Arabia. When the ATP announced the addition of a 10th Masters 1000 event, the first expansion of its elite series since 1990, the tennis world was stunned. For decades, the Masters 1000 tournaments have been the gold standard of tennis excellence, from Indian Wells to Monte Carlo, Madrid to Rome. But now, there's a new kingdom in town, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And if you thought the Six Kings Slam exhibition was just a test event, think again. Because what we're seeing now is the beginning of something much, much bigger, a long-term project by Saudi Arabia to reshape the entire tennis ecosystem. Here's what we know. According to Reuters, the brand new Saudi Arabia Masters 1000 will feature a 56-player singles draw, compacted into a one-week format, just like the other Masters events. But there's a twist, a massive one. Unlike other Masters 1000s, this one is non-mandatory. That means players like Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, Novak Djokovic, and Daniil Medvedev don't have to show up. They can choose to skip the event. No ranking penalty, no fines, no questions asked. But that's where Andy Roddick's comment becomes fascinating. On his podcast with John Wertheim, Roddick didn't just call it a big development, he called it chaos waiting to happen. Roddick, who's known for his sharp takes and insider knowledge, said exactly what most tennis executives don't want to admit. If it's not mandatory, then the tournament's success depends entirely on money. Here's how he put it. Players will hold all the leverage. They'll decide who plays and who doesn't. You're going to see chaos and massive appearance fees for the top names. And he's not wrong. We just saw it happen with the Six Kings Slam, an exhibition event, not even an ATP-sanctioned tournament, but still featuring Alcaraz, Sinner, and some of the sport's biggest stars. That event paid $1.5 million just for showing up, and another $4.5 million to the winner, Jannik Sinner. Those are staggering numbers. To put that in perspective, the winner of the 2025 Wimbledon Championships took home around $3 million. So a non-ATP event in Riyadh just outpaid one of the sport's most iconic Grand Slams. That's what Roddick is talking about, and why he thinks the Saudi Masters 1000 could turn the tennis calendar upside down. For years, tennis players, even the top ones, had limited control over their schedules. Mandatory Masters events meant that skipping one could cost them thousands in fines and valuable ranking points. But now, that's changing. With this Saudi tournament being non-mandatory, the power dynamic has shifted dramatically. If Carlos Alcaraz or Jannik Sinner decides they don't feel like traveling to the Middle East for a standard £5.5 million prize pool, they can simply stay home. Unless, of course, the organizers make it worth their time. And that's where Roddick's massive appearance fees come in. Riyadh will have to pay up big to attract the stars. We're talking potentially $2 to $3 million per player just to secure their participation. And given Saudi Arabia's recent push to dominate global sports, from golf's LIV Tour to Formula One, football, and boxing, that number might not even shock anyone anymore. To understand why this Masters 1000 means so much, you have to look at the bigger picture. Saudi Arabia isn't just hosting tennis for fun. This is part of Vision 2030, the kingdom's massive investment plan to diversify its economy and become a global hub for sports and entertainment. They've already hosted Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi in football showcases. They've hosted Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in heavyweight boxing bouts. And now, tennis is the next frontier. Riyadh recently hosted the WTA Finals and the Six Kings Slam, and the Masters 1000 will be the next crown jewel. The plan reportedly includes building a world-class tennis complex, complete with a 10,000-seat center court and training facilities designed to rival Indian Wells. But the real goal is simple: attract the world's biggest stars at any cost. That's the million, or maybe multi-million, dollar question. Both Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner have global fan bases. They're young, marketable, and currently the faces of tennis's next generation. But they've also been very selective with their schedules. Alcaraz has publicly said that he values rest and balance. Sinner recently skipped the Davis Cup, a national team event, to recover from exhaustion. So, if they're going to travel to Riyadh, it has to be worth their while. Financially, yes, but also professionally and personally. Roddick predicts that if the tournament offers appearance fees on the level of the Six Kings Slam, the players will come. But if not, Riyadh could end up with a Masters 1000 featuring lower-ranked names and limited global appeal. And that's where the chaos begins. The ADP faces a major challenge. On one hand, the expansion into Saudi Arabia brings huge financial upside, more sponsorship, global visibility, and new fans. But on the other hand, it risks creating a two-tier system, one where top players chase appearance money instead of ADP points. And that could disrupt the rhythm of the entire tennis calendar. What happens if the Saudi Masters is placed right before a key event like Indian Wells or Monte Carlo? Will players skip it to rest? Or will the massive checks convince them otherwise? It's a balancing act the ADP has never had to deal with before. Andy Roddick isn't criticizing Saudi Arabia's move. He's just calling it how he sees it. He's been on both sides of the equation, as a player negotiating appearance fees and as an analyst watching the sport evolve. On his podcast, he even hinted that this new dynamic might benefit players in the long run. Players finally have leverage, Roddick said. If they don't want to play, they don't have to. And if they do, they can negotiate what they think they're worth. That's a powerful statement, especially in a sport where players have long struggled for control over their own schedules and earnings. Let's break it down. The Masters 1000 tournaments are supposed to be about prestige and ranking points, not just money. But with Saudi Arabia entering the picture, that balance could shift dramatically. For years, golf's LIV Tour faced similar criticism, massive payouts, limited competition, and questions about long-term sustainability. Yet, those huge contracts changed the economics of golf forever. Tennis might be on the same path. If the Saudi Masters becomes a hit, other countries might start bidding for their own non-mandatory events. That could mean more opportunities, but also more pressure on players to choose between tradition and financial reward. Fans around the world are split. Some say tennis needs fresh energy, new venues, new markets, and new money to grow. Others believe that the sport is risking its integrity by aligning too closely with politics and money. Social media has been buzzing ever since the announcement, with many questioning whether the ADP is prioritizing profits over players' well-being. But even critics agree on one thing. This move is bold. Tennis is evolving, and Saudi Arabia wants to be at the heart of that change. The first edition of the Saudi Masters 1000 isn't set until 2028, but preparations are already underway. Architects, planners, and ADP executives are collaborating on how to make it fit into the calendar without disrupting the existing Masters circuit. Meanwhile, players and their agents are quietly watching how the negotiation game unfolds. If appearance fees skyrocket, the next few years could mark the start of the player empowerment era. And Roddick, ever the realist, says that's inevitable. Money talks, he said. If the checks are big enough, the chaos won't last long. It'll just become the new normal. So here's the bottom line. The Saudi Arabia Masters 1000 is more than just another tournament. It's a symbol of money, power, and a new kind of leverage in tennis. Andy Roddick sees chaos on the horizon, and maybe he's right. But he also sees opportunity for players to finally get paid what they're worth on their own terms. Whether you see it as a revolution or a risk, one thing's clear. Tennis is entering a brand new chapter, and it's being written in Riyadh. Thanks for watching NETRUSH Report, your home for everything tennis, from the drama on court to the power moves off it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next serve in this Saudi saga is coming soon, and you won't want to miss it. NETRUSH Report, where tennis meets truth.